This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Flagstaff Hard Side trailer. The model number is 12 RBST. Okay, let me see here. Oh, there it is there. Yeah, 12 RBST. And this is kind of a supplemental video. So when you go onto Flagstaff site, you'll be able to look at their setup videos for this, and they'll even give you a link in the in your packet and that sort of thing. But you can look at their setup videos. I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail in some areas, so consider this a supplemental video. All right. So starting over here, we just have storage. Now this storage can be accessed underneath the bed or from this compartment right here. You can see this is just a 3/4 inch crank to be used on the scissor type stabilizers here. Okay. Now this rail here is for this utility table and the grill. I've got the grill rack hanging on here, and I just set it here to get it out of the way, so the grill's actually right here. There's a hose that I'm going to pull out of the side of the trailer, an LP hose, and that attaches right to there. It's got a quick connect fitting on it, so let me show you that. Okay, so that's the quick connect right there to hook up the LP system to the griddle. Okay, this is just an FM antenna right here, outside speaker. Obviously you have a light. This is just power, 110 AC. This compartment has you can access this from inside the trailer or from here. There's a little porta potty that comes with it. And then you get this crank right here. This crank comes with the power tongue jack. Let me see if I can open this up just to show you here. One-handed. Okay, so you get the power tongue jack with it, up and down, and then you have a hitch light on it. If this ever fails for whatever reason, you can pull this rubber plug out right here, and you can use this crank to crank it manually. Okay, so that's just a way to get yourself out of trouble if it happens to fail for some reason. Now you can pull, or I mean you can access here the trunk from the side on this side. This is just a bag for the power cord, and I've got the cover for the tanks just sitting here because I need a place to put it. You have two 20-pound LP tanks with an automatic changeover regulator. You have two deep cycle marine batteries that are wired together to put out 12 volts. This is your hitch stuff here. So this puts out, although they're two batteries, they're wired together as if they're one battery. So it's still going to be putting out 12 volts DC. It's just doubling the storage capacity. Okay. Alrighty. So this is the water heater. There's obviously a door that goes on here. It's sitting here somewhere. So there's a door that clips on here. Now this water heater works on LP gas. The switch to operate it is inside the trailer. Underneath the off-door side dinette bench seat, you can access the rear of this water heater where the bypass valves are at. Right now this is in camping mode, meaning that it's all set up so fresh water has filled the tank and it's all ready to be camped in. So obviously when you winterize, you're going to have to learn about how to set the valves and that sort of thing, so keep that in mind. Inch and a 16 6-point socket to drain this. Never drain it under pressure or when the water is hot, so keep that in mind. Otherwise this will shoot out of there like a cannonball with a gallon of water behind it. So always make sure you let the pressure out. if you drain it, which you will, people don't leave water in the water heater throughout the entire summer. If you're camping in the spring, for example, you're not going to go again till fall. You're obviously going to drain the water heater. The reason I'm saying this is make sure that you refill the water heater tank with water before you turn it on. Never run it dry, so keep that in mind, okay? Alright, so you have your power cord, which is a 30 amp cord. We also give you a little reducer to reduce it down to a 20. That's your furnace vent there. This is just an outside shower right here. This is your city water hookup. This is the most common way to get water to the trailer. You just hook the city water up and you're all set. Now if you're camping someplace that doesn't have city water, you're boondocking or whatever, you can pre-fill the fresh water tank right here and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. All the plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping it out of the tank. So there's two options when it comes to the water. This is the plug for the sink drain. Now this is a regular garden hose fitting, so you can make up a hose. Just go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you go, and make up as long a hose as you want to go into a bucket or to a sewer or whatever you want. But that's the drain for the sink. Okay. This is just cable through. Okay. You have a fresh water drain under there, which is for your fresh water tank. Behind this panel here is your air conditioner / heat pump. So this has a heat pump air conditioner in it. We'll talk about more about that when we get inside. But it cools like a normal air conditioner, but then you can reverse it, and it actually does the opposite. It heats. It'll only heat, to like 35, 40 degrees. After that point, it doesn't extract much heat out of the air, so you'll have to use your propane furnace, but it is a heat pump air conditioner also. This bin pulls in and out for storage, of course. This is your Sky Ranger here, Wi-Fi Ranger. This is basically a, look at it as a public Wi-Fi signal booster. I'll show you how to operate it from inside the trailer, but basically there is a function where you can use it for cellular. People don't do that. They already have their phone, so it doesn't matter. But people are really into having a better public Wi-Fi, so this is a router and a signal booster all built into one. So I'll talk to you more about that when we get inside. Okay. Whenever you're setting this up, they're going to talk to you about this, and I think it has a sticker right here that tells you that. But this door goes into two pieces, so you're always going to want this shut. And make sure you manage this door correctly, the top half, so you don't damage it. Just keep in mind, pay attention to where it's at and what position it's in, okay? Alrighty. So, AM/FM radio, it has a USB drive, it has a HDMI in if you want to use it, it has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly from your phone to your tablet, and two speaker zones. Zone 1 is inside the trailer, Zone 2 is outside the trailer. So it does a lot. This, we can't really use it that much. We can't show you all the features because we're inside right now, but this is the solar controller. It's a controller for the solar panel. So this is the right-hand top button is the one you pay attention to. That's the one you're going to be using. So right now there's 13.7 volts in the system, right? We're drawing 0.0 amps from the sun. So normally when you're outside, it will be giving you a readout of, it could be 5.7, whatever, depending on the conditions and the time of day and everything outside. So that's how you would see how many amps are being converted from sunlight and stored in your battery. You push it again, and that's amp hours of storage, and then back to your voltage. Also, the fact that this light is one notch down tells us this is it's not completely charged. We just hooked it up so it doesn't have a complete charge. Now if that ever flashes, that screen ever flashes FUL, and I just want to see what's happening here, and there we go. If it ever flashes FUL and it won't let any of the buttons operate, it's not broke. It's telling you that the batteries are totally charged to their full capacity. So when that happens and there's no more room for storage, it will shut down the solar panel. That's what it's telling you. As soon as the amps and the batteries drain down a little bit, it'll go right back to normal. So that's just a feature telling you that there's no room for storage in the batteries. They're totally topped off. Okay, so these are your lights. This is the Wi-Fi Ranger here. So if you look at this sticker, I can't read it all to you because it's very small, or I can read it, but I don't think you can read it. But the top line on the sticker tells you that Sky4 1414, that's the name of your Wi-Fi Ranger, right? You're gonna in your Wi-Fi section of all your family's phones and tablets, whatever, you're gonna put that in with a password to log on automatically. Okay. Now, if you go to the bottom one, there's an IP address. That's the address for the Wi-Fi Ranger itself, and you'll type that into a browser, obviously. When you get there, you're going to have a password, and there's a temporary password on here that's called Change Me Now 1414. That's what the middle line is on here. You'll make up your own password for that, and so everybody knows it. But what the bottom line is, when you type that address into the browser and you log on, you'll be able to see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees. So you'll pick out campground Wi-Fi or whatever you're using and log on to it. So it's like having a router, right? So you have to manually log the Wi-Fi Ranger on, but all the devices, because it already has the Wi-Fi Ranger and the password stored in it, will automatically log on. So it's just better Wi-Fi if you're using a lot of different devices. So I highly recommend it. You can read more about it. You can scan that code, obviously, and learn everything you need to know about it, but it's a really excellent signal booster. Okay. Here, let me see if I can get in front of it here. It's a typical thermostat, except instead of having heat for, which would be your furnace right there, and cool, which would be your air conditioner right here, it also has heat pump, which I explained to you is the air conditioner running backwards. Okay, so you push the mode button and you keep hitting it. Auto, fan. So right now there's cool, furnace, heat pump, and off. So you've got those three options, right? So air conditioning, heating with the propane furnace, the heat pump, back to off, and I left out the fan. The first one is fan, which just circulates air basically. It does nothing but circulate air. So keep that in mind. I'm going to get back to off here so it doesn't kick out on us. So that's how you operate them. Obviously you have to have your tanks on and everything to run the LP furnace. That's obvious, I guess. Okay, so I told you about storage on that one compartment from under here. You can see it if you look here. And that under there is where your heat pump / air conditioner is. This is a sink cover. There's underneath the sink, or under here, there's a place to put this filter, a canister, and then this is the wrench for the canister. So if you want to use this water filter, you can. Remember, if you use it, you have to replace it every season. That's just obviously a spatula, and then you have a little storage cabinet that hangs right here. Okay. Keys. Obviously your sink here. Your cooktop, right? It's you're just going to use a lighter on it to light it. Your refrigerator is 12 volt DC, right here. Now, we'll look at this. I left the table out of the way so I can get down here and I can show you this stuff here. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. If it's not green, get it serviced. If it goes off, it's telling you that it's detected carbon monoxide or LP gas. So you shut off the appliances, take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, figure out what's going on, okay? This plug here is your main plug. It has a GFCI. All the plugs in the trailer, even including the one on the outside, are wired through this GFCI, so they're all GFCI protected. To light your water heater, is like just like that. Always make sure there's water in it before you light it. Okay. This is your power converter. This converts AC to DC power. So on this side you got regular 110 volts AC, and you have the circuit breakers just like you'd have at home, and then of course they're labeled. All right. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. So you got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. Right. It's also a battery tender. So as long as you're plugged into shore power, it's going to always continue to sense how much energy your batteries up front need and have, and it'll send as many amps necessary to keep them charged. So this charges your batteries when you're plugged in. The tow vehicle's alternator and charge line charge the batteries while you're pulling it down the road. And of course the solar panels charge the batteries when it can. It's always sending amps. If there's room for storage and there's sunlight, it's always sending amps, okay? Alright, that's the power converter. So, I can get behind this here. Let me move some stuff real quick. So like I said, this is a supplemental video. With setup video, that sort of thing, you can use the manufacturers. This just goes into some more detail in some areas. Alright, so this will come up. Just get it up and out of the way here. So that's your furnace, right? This is the back of your converter. Always be careful around it. There's power to it, obviously. And this is the water heater tank. These are the bypass valves. There's one down there and one up here. So keep in mind, right now, whichever way the handle points is the way the water flows. So right now, the water flows in the blue side, the cool side, heats up and comes out this way. When you bypass it, this is a bypass line here. So before you winterize, you're going to change the position of these two valves. So instead of the water going into the water heater or the antifreeze going into the water heater, it loops by in this bypass line here. So you may know all this already. You're still going to have to educate yourself a bit if you don't, but that's where the valves are at, okay? All right. Put this back down. If I can get it with one hand here. Okay. This with one hand. Sorry about my camera work. And this with one hand. Okay. Now, back behind here, there's a little, just a screw holds this cover on, but your water pump is back there, right? Just so you know it's there. This is the canister. Hopefully you can see in there. I know it's getting dark. Here, let me see. I don't have my flashlight, but you can barely see it as white, but that's the canister for the water filter, okay? And that's the water filter and the wrench. Like I said, if you use it, you got to change it every season. And this is the switch to turn the water pump on and off. Okay? So if you have city water, you don't have to worry about the water pump. If you're pumping from the tank because you don't have city water, that's where you'll turn it on. This pump is also used to winterize the trailer. Okay? The antifreeze is drawn into the system underneath the trailer by the fresh water tank. You'll see some valves. And that's where you'll find the port to draw it in. Okay, so now little tidbits. When you get in here and you fold this wall up, you're going, because the other wall is going to be in the way. Just reach up and latch this one first. Don't worry about the other one. Then you're going to put this up and just latch one side, and then you can get back and do this side. Same way when you're putting it down. Okay. While we look up here, this is your 4-speed fan. So you can it opens up and down the vent roof, or vent lid, I mean. You lock it into place this way, right? Always make sure it's down before you close this thing up, or you're gonna have to open it back up. 4 different speeds. It's really good. If there's let's say it's a time of year where there's condensation, you got some people in here, it's at nighttime and starting to steam up a little bit, you just turn this on low. You won't even hear running, it'll pull all that out. So, okay? Alright, so I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to look around real quick here, see if I forgot anything. Hopefully the lighting was good enough for you. This is your griddle, and it hangs on outside. You can see that you have those what would you call them? Those rods sticking out there. They slide right through here. One on each side. That's how it hangs on the outside. You can store it up front in the compartment. Remember, it's going to smell like a griddle after a while, so you don't want to store it in the trailer, so you put it up front, I would imagine. Okay? And of course, the table sits on these cleats when it's the down position. And when you're camping, you're going to unfold it and use it as a regular table. You can sit within here, you can take it outside, and whatever you want to do with it. Okay? Alright, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember to inspect all the seals. Just look around any place you see sealant from the factory on the outside. Just pay attention to it. If it's starting to crack or anything, you want to touch it up. You just clean the area really well, and you don't tear anything off. You just go over the top of what's already there. And you'll use a product called ProFlex, which is a caulk that's made for trailers. This would be clear ProFlex, okay? So keep that in mind. Keep inspecting the seals and make sure everything's in good shape. And right now this is in camping mode when it comes to the water system, so your water heater is, well, there's no antifreeze in the system. It's been purged and replaced with fresh water. Your water heater is in camping mode like I showed you, and right now the water tank is full. Just always make sure that there's water in the water heater tank before you turn it on, okay? Alright, thank you very much.